guys? We're back with another creepy video. I realize that I have not put out a video in like 2 weeks. I have been doing a lot of things, but I'm back. This setup is temporary, so I hope that's okay. I love my normal setup, but this is what we're working with until I get my husband to untangle my damn ring light. So, I'm at his desk. It feels very official. But anyway, if you are new here, my name is Sammy, and on my channel we talk about the paranormal, creepy shit, but I also make videos about manifestation. So, if paranormal is not your thing, I make videos on manifestation. If you don't know about manifestation or don't care about law of attraction, law of assumption, manifesting, all that stuff, I make paranormal videos. If you happen to be like me and are into both, then this is definitely the place for you. Either way, join the Mermaid Gang, suspend your disbelief for a little bit, stick around, hang out with us. We're cool here. This is obviously a creepy video. I want to talk about some of the world's most cursed items. And as a follow-up to this video, I am going to tell you guys about the time last year that an item from my home was taken, cursed, and returned. Yeah, that'll be coming soon. So we're first going to talk about some of the world's most cursed items, and obviously you can look them up for yourselves, just like I did if you want to get more information than what I tell you today. So let's get started. The first cursed item that I want to talk about is called the Screaming Skull. I'm looking at my phone because I have a list of what items I want to talk about. So if you know anything about England, then you probably know about the Burton Agnes Hall. It's a manor house. So this Screaming Skull is actually the head of the youngest daughter of Sir Henry Griffith. Between 1601 and 1610, he was having this place built. His youngest daughter, Anne, was obsessed with this house. She would walk around everywhere watching it be built. She loved this place. But one day she was out somewhere and she got jumped by some robbers or thieves, and they hit her over the head. And then some people found her, some people in the area found her and took her to her sisters. They knew she was dying from being hit in the head. She told her sisters that she would not rest peacefully in the churchyard where they were supposed to be buried, that she wanted a part of her body, specifically her head, cut off and left as like a trophy in the house. That's what she wanted. And she said, on no account should you remove my head from this house. She said that if anyone removes my head from this freaking house, I will haunt, basically in newer words, she would haunt them to the point where the house was inhabitable, where they could not stand to be there. She would harass anyone who removed her head from this damn house. That's how much she loved this house. Her sisters promised her that they would, but when she passed away, they could not stand the thought of severing her head, obviously, so they buried her in the churchyard where she specifically said, that ain't where I'm going. So soon after, the whole damn house was haunted and people were hearing strange moans and screams. So basically the haunting was so bad that the servants refused to work there. They all quit. But because homegirl kept her promise and made the house terrifying, they dug up her body and got her skull, because that's all there was left by then. They got her skull and they put it in the house. So they get her they put her head in the house like she wanted, her skull. They put it in like a case or frame in the hallway. And apparently, the new maid didn't like it. It freaked her out. So she made the horrible mistake of taking the head, the skull, and wrapping it in cloth and burying it in the yard. So again, cries and screams started happening again, and they had to put her back. So basically, she kept her freaking promise. Anytime they tried to take her head out of the house, she haunted them and screamed and just freaked everybody out. So they're saying that they think that they have like bricked up that wall where she's not technically outside of the house, but she's not visible. And also, other than that, no one really knows where the skull is. If they did that, obviously no one would know because she's in the wall, you know what I mean? But that's pretty freaking creepy. Like, girl, you like that house that much? Some people still say that they see a headless woman sometimes walking around. So, you know, no thank you. Okay, so the next one I want to talk about is the Crying Boy painting. So the Crying Boy was a series of paintings by the artist Giovanni Bergolin in the 1950s. It's obviously what it sounds. It's literally paintings of little boys with tears. They're crying in the paintings. If it might sound creepy to us, the painting was actually hella popular. So basically what started to get people thinking that this painting was cursed was that many houses caught fire. Many houses of people that have purchased these paintings caught fire, and everything would be burned except for the painting. They say that you can even hold a lighter to this painting and it will not burn. One firefighter that had arrived to one of the burned down houses claimed that he had been to 15 different fires that owned that painting, and the painting in none of them was touched. Not one. Not one of those paintings burnt. I'm going to list you some accounts of other people that bought the painting and their house was burned. A woman in Surrey lost her house to a fire 6 months after buying the painting. 2 sisters in Kilburn had fires in their homes after buying a copy of the painting. One sister even claimed to have seen her painting sway backwards and forwards on the wall. A concerned woman on the Isle of Wight attempted to burn her painting without success and then went on to suffer a run of bad luck. A gentleman in Nottingham who possessed a print of the painting lost his home and his family were injured. A pizza parlor in Norfolk was destroyed, including every painting on its wall except for the Crying Boy. So basically, if you own the painting, your house burns down. If you try to burn the painting, you get really bad luck. So, sounds like a curse to me. So basically, people also wanted to understand maybe why the paintings were cursed. Some of the theories were things like it was a gypsy child whose parents placed a curse on the artist. Some say that the child died in a fire and his spirit was trapped in the painting. But the most prominent reason was that the little boy accidentally set this artist's studio on fire, and that his parents had also been killed in it, and that everywhere the painting of the little boy goes, it burns down basically. I mean, it's interesting to me. What do you think? Do you think this is a real curse? Do you think these are coincidences? I don't believe in coincidences, to be honest, but everybody has their own opinion. Okay, so the next one is pretty freaking interesting to me and scary. The deathly stoop chair of Thomas Busby. This chair belonged to this really bad guy named Thomas Busby. So basically what the story is that he murdered another not so good man, and like stashed his body in the woods, like wasn't his greatest idea. But eventually he got caught, and back then they would hang people. So like whenever someone's on death row, they get the last wish or whatever. His last wish was to sit in his chair and have like a final drink or whatever. But the legend says that before he was, you know, getting hanged, he cursed the chair by declaring that death would come quickly to anyone who dares sit in his chair. So here's where all the creepy stuff comes. His spirit is said to haunt this chair, and this chair has supposedly been responsible for more deaths than most serial killers. Yeah, I ain't sitting in that chair. Matter of fact, you can't sit in that chair now. They have it in a museum and it's like up on the wall. So let's talk about some of the victims. The first victim was a chimney sweep who happened to sit in the chair. He was sitting with someone having a drink. He sat in that chair. Well, he never made it home that night. He was murdered by the friend that he was sitting having a drink with. So then I guess the chair was placed in this drinking spot. I guess it must have been a bar. I don't know. I guess they didn't call them that then. I don't know. It was a bar basically. And airmen in the area would go to this bar and they would like taunt each other or like dare each other like to sit in the chair. Those that did never made it home. In 1968, a witness named Tony Earnshaw, who was a regular at this pub and later ended up owning it, he heard two airmen like trying to get each other to sit in the chair. They both sat in the chair, and when they left from there, they got in a horrible wreck and died on the way to the hospital. In the early 1970s, it would continue to kill people. Anybody that sat in the chair. One lady was diagnosed with a brain tumor after simply knocking into the chair. Cyclists and motorcyclists would have horrible accidents after sitting in the chair. A hitchhiker had sat in the chair and he was run over. And then a local man died of a heart attack after sitting in the chair. So the very last straw for this chair, when someone finally decided that's enough. I mean, I don't think it would have took me that many, but the final straw was there were some builders that came into the pub and they dared basically the youngest of the group, I guess maybe a newbie or something like that, they dared him to sit in the chair, and he ended up falling through a roof onto the concrete ground and dying. And so that is where they finally said, okay, maybe we should, you know, get this chair off the ground, not let people sit in it anymore. So they donated it to a museum where it's now suspended up on the wall. Nobody can sit in it. It's not allowed to come down. You're not allowed to touch it. You can look at it. You can't touch it. Can't sit in it. Thank God. Because I mean, who even wants to risk that? Like, who even wants to risk that? You know what I'm saying? Even if somebody says it's not true, you gonna test it? I'm not gonna test it. I'm just gonna take it for what y'all say and let that be that. You know what I'm saying? Those kind of things you just don't test. I think that one was hella creepy. That was probably the scariest one to me. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you made it this far to hear me say, if you would like to hear my story on how someone cursed me in an object of mine last year, then please comment below. Even if it's just an emoji, leave me a heart, leave me a something, or comment and give me your opinion, or tell me, yes, I want to hear your story. Alright, thank you so much for watching. If you did make it this far, I appreciate you. Join the Mermaid Gang. I will be more consistent now. Next I'll have a manifestation video coming out about how to manifest your specific person, so stay tuned for that. Turn on my notifications so you don't miss it. Thank you for watching, and we out.